All right. Hello, world. Hope this thing's on. Thanks for joining us today. This is TrueProp's third ever Instagram Live. So in this series, we're discussing marine propeller repair, propeller tolerances, and computerized propeller inspection with professional repair shops, propeller distributors, manufacturers, service centers all over the world. So we want to welcome everyone who's joining us. I can see a couple people trickling in. Send some love to you guys. So we want to welcome everyone who's joining us. If you missed our last two Instagram lives, they're definitely worth checking out. I highly suggest going on our page and looking back a few dates. So the first one was January 12th with Precision Propeller. They're based out of New York, and we interviewed Gabe, who he retrofitted his he had an old PropView 3 system, so he retrofitted that with some hardware upgrades and software upgrades to kind of extend the life of that device, expand his capabilities, and it was a great chat with him. The next Instagram Live was on January 25th, and we went from New York over to Osage Beach, Missouri. Lake of the Ozarks is out there. It's a big interconnected lake system. We spoke with George from Cool Breeze. George is the prop specialist, and he had purchased a hydraulic press system and integrated scan arm with TrueProp. He uses that for inboard propeller repair. Very busy. We got to see his whole system. He scanned a prop for us, so that's really cool. So now we're going to ask everyone to grab their virtual passports and join us as we connect with Nautic Center in Roses, Spain. So Nautic Center is one of the largest marine service centers in Spain. Nautic is quite a large company, and they own a couple marinas, hotels, service centers, and things like that. And they're all focused on kind of the aqua sports marine boating industry. So Alex and Rickard, sorry, forgive my pronunciation. So Alex is our principal contact. All right, sorry about that. Lost Wi-Fi here, but that's not a problem. I just switched it over to the cellular network. So they're using, they purchased a press system with an integrated scan arm. So they're using the same system basically from last week, but they're in Europe. They see different customers, and they're kind of a marine service center, so they're servicing kind of their own existing customers and clients. So kind of a unique person to loop in here. So I'm gonna click some small buttons here and invite in Alex.
Hello,
Hey,
Adam.
Alex, how's it going?
Yeah, good. Thank you for inviting us to this live session.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. Happy to have you guys on. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Nautic Center?
Yeah, well, I'll talk a little bit more about the company rather than myself. Basically, Nautic Center, we're located in the northeast of Spain, basically on the Mediterranean side of Spain, just next to the border with France. In this area, the coast is incredible, and there are plenty of leisure boats and also some professional ones. And basically, our marina started as something quite small, and over time, it grew, and until this point that we have over 42,000 square meters of. So
Yeah.
started offering all kind of services, and in 2019 we found basically, we started seeing that a lot of propellers and trying to repair them was complex for us. We didn't have the tools. There were some repair shops that were doing the job, but we had to ship them the propellers they took 3-4 weeks, and during the summer there's no time for that. So we decided, okay, let's try to do it ourselves. So that's why we contacted Gary from Linden Propeller, and basically he showed us the prop press that we finally purchased, and also the tooling needed to scan and certify the propellers. So basically that's how we got in touch with you, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely. And Gary actually, he came out there, delivered the machine. He showed you how to use it, gave you some training on it. It was right before the pandemic started, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. He and his son came here, and they assembled the machine, and also made the showed us the first tips and tricks on how to get started. We really like that, and hope we really appreciate that he did that, because otherwise we probably would have here a big press that we wouldn't really know how to do it. But
Yeah.
definitely, the combination of the press and the TrueProp software is completely needed. One without the other is well, you're just blind. At the beginning, we even tried to figure out if with only the press would be enough, but then we should realize that the propeller might look okay, but once you start looking at it into details, you'll find that at some RPMs are some vibrations, and that the calibration needs to be done very carefully, that it's just a few millimeters up or low that make a huge difference in the performance.
Yeah, it's the heights of the blades are really critical for dialing in, you know, the pitch that you want for each section, and making sure that the blades are matched. You know, blade 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all the same.
Yeah, and some propellers that actually look perfect, because from time to time we receive some that our customers ship to us, or even other marinas that want some propeller inspection, and they say the propeller looks perfect. It doesn't have any single glitch, any scratch. It just looks like brand new from the manufacturer. And you put it on the scan, and basically you figure out that there's some slight difference, and the customer was really was right that there are some vibrations and things that's not working as truly expected.
Yeah, and we hear that a lot on our side as kind of the software vendor, that, you know, that they can detect issues that they might not see in a manual layout table or on some other machines. You know, things that we're checking, you know, the blade heights are obviously, you know, pitch is critical, but, you know, we're also looking at blade to blade spacing, the skew, the rake, the track, and all these kind of contribute to how the propeller is going to be loaded. And if you have a blade that's loaded more than the other blades, you know, you get that kind of eccentric force that leads to vibrations and things that aren't quite smooth.
Yeah. Also, what our customers request us a lot is from time to time they figure out that their propeller might not really match their engine. So we need to tweak a little bit the pitch of the propeller. Basically, all these tools really help us, and also we need to make sure that both of the propellers look exactly the same, so that both engines perform at the same RPM, and the boat goes just straight.
Yeah, so you're talking about matching a left hand and a right hand propeller set, so that they're both tuned to the same kind of spec.
It's very easy to screw it up, and that the shape of the propellers slightly changes from the left side and the right side. So it's not just applying some force on the blades and make sure that the propeller is balanced, but we need to balance both of the propellers.
Yep. And what classes are you typically repairing your propellers to? Are you doing like class 1 or?
Normally class 1 or class 1A. That's and normally when we receive them that they have some issues, they're either class 2 or class 3, and it's not suitable, because the type of boats that are in the area, normally have small engines that run at higher PMs, so any imperfection on the propeller is easily seen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what diameter ranges are you servicing? So from what size up to what size?
Normally, the highest size it's I think around 44 inches or something like this. That we've got one just right here on top of the mobile phone right now. That's 44-inch 6-blade, but I think that's the second largest that we've worked on. There was one that was about a meter, but that was just something exceptional. Normally, we work with propellers which are just like these on 35 centimeters, 40 centimeters maximum.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most typical one.
That's great, because I was going to ask you what the largest prop you had worked on. So you did one that was over 1 meter. That's great. And how's the past couple years been after adding this capability to your business? Obviously, we have the pandemic, so that's changed things. For some people, that's meant more business. For others, that's been a slowdown. But things are going well.
Definitely, we're really surprised that most of the companies in the area started shipping propellers to us for repairing and certifying them. We try to make it in the less time possible. Just we even can do it somehow easy, and the propeller is not really damaged within the same day. So we can receive it in the morning, and late in the afternoon we can ship it back. And during the summer, that's something that's really good, and I think that's something quite unique in the industry.
Yeah. So what's the length of the season there? Is it a short boating season? Are people really eager to get their propeller back?
The season's very short. It's getting longer over the time. I don't know if climate change is doing something about it, but
Yeah.
But it's we can sum it up in a couple months.
Yeah. Okay. Similar to the States here. So we have a seasonal business, and so when a propeller gets damaged and they bring it into a prop shop, they're very eager to get it back or get it replaced, get it repaired. So TrueProps let you bring that all in-house, which is really good to hear. Did you want to show us the machine and your setup, a little bit of your shop?
Okay, I'll switch the camera to your side.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, I think that you can see it now. So basically, this is our setup with this big propeller, 44-inch in diameter. So what we've got here, this is the press. That's actually a simple tool, but does its job very well. It has like 2 cylinders that we use to push. This one is on the top, and we've got another one on the bottom. And basically, we need to just place the blade in a proper way so that we just push it up or down and bring it at the right place. But in order to make sure where we need to push, first we need to scan it. So here is the scanning tool that we have. Basically, it's recording in a 3-dimensional plane. It has a rotation axis that basically it encodes the axial movement. It also has some. Sorry, it's locked. Okay. Okay, I'll get some help. So.
Yeah, not enough hands. This is really great. I think people are very interested in what the arm looks like.
Yeah. So basically, we first need to position it. Normally, at the beginning, we scan only 3 radios, and for the final, we do all 5 radios. So at the moment that we start moving the scan, basically it records a chord all over the propeller. You can see it made the slight mark, and it sends to the computer all the 3D points of this blade. And then what TrueProp does in the end is building something like this. which basically it has all the 3D points of all the blades in all the different radius. It provides an image very easy to understand that what's the situation. And basically this propeller that when we received it was like almost perfect. And we said, well, I don't know why we received it. We figured out that it was not as perfect, and it's huge, and basically, well, we don't know the history about it, but in order to move one of the blades of this propeller, a lot of force is really needed, and it's really hard to work on. And the differences are just a few millimeters up and down to bring it into class 1. That's what we actually were requested for this one. So at the moment we can check here, and it's basically telling us that yeah, it's meeting class 1. But for example, if we just wanted to make it class S, then we can see that it's failing over the end of in the latest radius, in radius 80, 90, and 95. Basically, some of the blades are a little bit higher and some are a little bit lower. And also, if we look right now on the top of on the blade, we can see that there are some spots which are higher and others that are lower. But just looking at the propeller looks brilliant.
Yeah, it looks brand new. Never know without
brand new. Yeah, we just sandblasted it so that it has this kind of finish.
Yeah,
that's why.
And so when you put it up, you know, it's now currently a class 1.
Yeah, right. Class 1.
And so if you tighten up the tolerances, class 1 is one of the highest ones. The next highest is class S. Just I'm explaining for people who may not be familiar. So the class S tolerances are smaller than the class 1. So when he tightens up those tolerances, now we can see it doesn't quite meet the tightest tolerances.
Yeah.
No, that was really great. Thanks for showing the machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
also, you can see the different radiuses, how they look like, and the slightest difference at where is the point and where's the average. Because most of the time, what we're doing is comparing all the blades within its own average, so that the whole propeller is balanced against itself.
As opposed to templating like blade 1,
Yeah.
blade 1, you take all 6 blades, average them together so that you have to move each one a little.
Yeah, and also from time to time we receive really damaged propellers, and we know that there is a good blade, so we can take that one as a template and try to make the other ones match it. Or for other times, the boat has got one of the 2 propellers damaged, so we scan the good one and we use it as a template for the bad one to make sure that it matches the profile back again of the new one. Also, we've got some images that we can show you of some of the propellers that we received. I don't know if you can see this one that got some nice damage on the edges.
Ouch.
Yeah, but that's definitely not the worst one that we've worked on. Definitely, we just did some repair soldering first. Bringing its shape back to the original, and once we finish with all this, we polish it a little bit, and we start scanning and making all the modifications on the shape of the blades. So definitely there's no recipe on how to repair a propeller. It just depends on case by case and how it was at the beginning, what kind of damage it had, and also sometimes a propeller that might look very damaged, it's quite easy to repair, and others that because there are some materials that you might hit it like with a hammer or with a press, and magically it returns back to its original place, and there's no way to make it move even a slight a millimeter. But there's
Absolutely.
other materials that are much easier to work on.
So yeah, with these really thick blades, I'm sure the press is a huge benefit to being able to dial that in, and those other ones that are folded over. So this allows the press is allowing you to kind of work these blades without heating them up, without using.
Yeah, yeah. The the photos that I was showing you before are of this propeller. That just we grinded it, so it has this kind of finish that's good for painting it after with anti-fouling or prop speed or any kind of paint that it will have a better grip. But
And so this is a repair you did a couple days ago.
yeah, yeah, I think
So they
that it was done last week.
days. So
Also,
great.
can show you more examples of this is a similar one, and this one has also been repaired. You can see that it's been scanned. It has the marks.
Yep. And
The scanner has some kind of has a ruby on the tip, and it creates a small mark on the propeller, but it completely doesn't make any damage to it. Also, it will show you something else that we have. This is a polishing pool that we have with some polishing material. It vibrates, and we can give this kind of polished finish on the propellers. It's very
yeah, that's great. Vibratory polisher.
yeah. But
Also,
normally when another marine asks, request us to do a repair, normally we ship it like this because we don't know if they'll paint it or what will be the use case of that propeller.
and so some of these propellers that you're working on, you've got 5 and 6 blades, you've got overlap blades. None of that is an issue. You can all set that up in the software. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah. Normally, we create a new project once we receive a propeller. Let me show you. So basically, this is the main screen. So basically, missing some hands. Normally, we're working with 4 blades, but software supports up to 8. I think that we've never worked with 8 ones, and they are complicated. The more blades we have, they start to get overlapped, and scanning them it's trickier, and also working with them it's more complicated because you don't really have space in between them to move them without damaging the other blade. So yeah, our typical use case would be like this. If it's the right side of or the left side, normally we work in millimeters, but that really depends on the type of propeller we have. I'll just type some random, and once everything's set up, we can start scanning. If we move the scan, you'll see that it moves at the same time on the screen. We've got a little button right here on the top of the scan that we can use it to trigger the start and stop recording, and the software automatically detects it, and without touching any key on the computer, the operator can scan the propeller in an easy way. So just starting with blade 1, and then we jump to the 4, 3, 2, and then we move up to the next radius, and so on. So it's an iterative process, and sometimes we need to do it a lot of time, several times, between the first attempt that when we receive the propeller until we ship it with it's certified.
That's great. Yeah, and that little leg on the end of the probe there that allows you to get in between the blades that are over.
The dot leg, it's necessary for this kind of propellers that are so curved up So if we look at this one from the top, you can see that there's no vertical side. So you cannot really reach this area because it's hidden by the top of the other blade.
Yeah,
so
great.
we need to use this little trick, and the software controls it. You need to set it up and specify the dimensions because the geometry changes a little bit. And also for very big propellers, we can use it, so we can put it 90 degrees, so we can get a little bit longer scanning range.
And how many technicians are using the press and the scanner and the software?
At the moment, we've got a couple of them that are working with it. Normally, there's one technician that works most of the time, but it's really difficult to get started with it. The learning curve with the software, I'd say it's easy, but with the propeller repair itself, it's complicated. It requires a lot of experience and knowledge of the materials, and having worked with, I'd say it's experience. You really need to know where to touch it.
Yeah, where to place the scanning is kind of the easy part. You know, a lot of people can probably scan the propeller.
Yeah,
interpreting and placing the hydraulic to get that movement that the software says, you know, if you need 2 millimeters, that's really the learning part is where to place those rams and things like
because,
that.
Most of the time, every movement you apply to one of the blades, it has consequences on the whole propeller, or at least as the software it's averaging the whole all the blades together. Sometimes you touch a little bit on one side and you screw up on the other, or you move at the if there's some damage at the inner side of the propeller, then it changes all the geometry on the other radius.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you have to predict kind of the whole blade's movement. Yeah. A lot of people say that propeller repair is kind of a blend of science and art, you know. So you can get all the numbers you want in the world, but it still takes a lot of skill to be able to figure out how to move the blades right. You know, how much force is required to move something a certain way.
Yeah, it's a matter of trial and error, and there are almost never two propellers to repair that are exactly the same. So you cannot really apply the knowledge of one propeller to another one. So it's just using intuition and patience and time.
Great. That's great. So you guys specialize in repair for both new propellers out of the box, but also like damaged propellers from the marina, from your own marinas. Also, you have propellers coming in from other marinas, sounds like.
Yeah. Well, most of the time, all the propellers have apparent damage, have received some heat, or some rope has gone through them. So it's very strange that a brand new propeller has some damage or it's not meeting the specification.
It's, you know, it's like all things, you know, things are built tolerances, and propeller manufacturers, just like everyone else, have a QA process, or they have some that don't meet the tolerances. And, you know, whether some of them get out the door in the wild or not, who knows, but we've seen them. So, you know, not all propellers are not perfect, and great to have tools that, you know, you can inspect them and tell, engage quality, class 3, 2, 1 S. I'm glad to hear you guys are having a lot of success.
Yeah, thank you.
So
we didn't imagine at the beginning that we would service so many propellers as we're doing.
That's awesome.
We thought at the beginning that we might do 20, 30 propellers per year or something like this, but definitely there are dozens coming every week.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So it's been more successful than you guys have.
Yeah.
And you know, there's so few propeller repair shops available these days. You know, the market's getting smaller, so and the world's more interconnected than ever. So people can find all over. Why don't you tell us where how people can get in touch with you, your website, your contact information?
Yeah, you can get in touch with us. We have a website which is nauticcenter.com. And also you can drop us an email at info@nauticcenter.com with two C's. So a little bit complicated,
Great.
but very easy to find.
And so if they're interested in talking to you about propeller repair specifically, is there a way to get to you directly, or Instagram, or just email?
Well, any contact way is they can reach us. That's not an issue. If somebody wants to speak directly with me, it's my email is alex.roig at nauticcenter.com, and I'll be really available to answer any questions that anyone might have. And if we need to repair some propeller, you just need to tell us some of the specs that it has, send us some photos, and we can provide with a quote. But still, it's complicated to provide it without really having seen it, because as what we mentioned, that it can have very slight damage and be very difficult to repair, or the other way around. But even if the propeller is almost missing one blade, or it has it split in half, there's something that we can do about it. We've got here some propellers which are some kind of Frankenstein, that we cut some of the blades and we and use it with another one and change its shape, so that we always try to provide a solution. And
Yeah,
we're the first to know that at least during the summer, time matters a lot, and customers are really pushy about it. They want their boat up and running.
yeah, and I don't know if you have the same inventory issues we have here in the US, but a lot of propellers, are back ordered a couple weeks. So
Yeah.
if you can repair it anyway, it's really helpful. I really appreciate you showing us the device, walking us through the software. It seems like you've got a really good understanding of how to use it. So, that's always great to see. And, we'll continue on developing the capabilities.
The software is really easy to use. It has a lot of tips and tricks and things that you can dig on the inside, and there's a huge complexity on all the math that it does to make this overlapping and make sure it certifies. But it does a great job, and we're pretty sure that once we receive here that the propeller is matching a class, it will perform as it's saying.
Yeah, great. Yeah, and anyone is interested in contacting TrueProp on our side to learn more about the software capabilities or propeller repair, computerized propeller protection, our website is truepropsoftware.com. You can reach me, Adam, at measure@truepropsoftware.com. So measure like tape measure. Obviously, messaging us on Instagram. Yeah, you can touch us. We've got a great marketing team with Jill and Danielle, who are kind of driving this Instagram Live. And have you done Instagram Live before, or is this your first?
It's our first. First Instagram Live, and we're quite surprised the number of people that joined the session. We're really thankful for them to join, and hope that if we ever do another one, they'll join us once more.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you for joining, Alex. Thank you for your time and showing us so much about what you guys are doing. And with that, I'm gonna kind of sign here. We're at the 35-minute mark, so let's call it a session. And thank you, everyone. And feel free to reach out to Center or TrueProp Software if you guys need any more information. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you. Bye-bye.